Welcome to the simplicity of happiness when more is too much. This podcast offers tips and techniques for a better life.
And before we start with another episode of the Simplicity of Happiness podcast, I would like to remind you that you can find out all about me and my thoughts on simplicityofhappiness.com, as well as Patreon, where I am providing extra content for all of you who support me and the education of children in Africa. And now relax and enjoy the show. Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Simplicity of Happiness podcast. And yet again, I have a guest who appeared on the German podcast years ago by now. By now, I would say we became friends and a part and an important member of my mastermind group, Changepreneur. Hello, Bernhard.
Hello. Nice that I'm invited again. I'm very excited to be again in your podcast and you ask me again. Super nice. This time in English.
Yeah, yes, and in English, which is a bit funny because I have recorded 2 video podcasts before. There was a longer period where I did only solo shows because somehow I was lacking a bit of inspiration. Well, one of them is also a member of the Changepreneur team. So it's so funny that I'm talking to friends of mine who are normally talking German, and now we have to switch in English. So it's a bit funny in the beginning, but as I decided that I want to publish everything in English, we'll go for that. Well, Bernhard, and as you the listener, are mostly not familiar with the former German show. There was a very interesting coincidence. I was looking for an extremely good hypnotist. That's what I told everybody in Berlin, because somebody I knew had a bit of a complicated problem. And just to give you an imagination of what you can use the hypnosis for, it was her. She was pregnant and the baby had turned upside down. And I knew that it is possible with very precise suggestion that the baby can turn back. And I told her, well, let me find somebody who's really capable. And all of a sudden, it didn't matter whether I was talking to Germans, to people in Berlin or somewhere else in Germany. Most of them referred back to Bernhard in Berlin. So I was like, okay, well, let's give him a try. And I liked him right away. And so I thought, okay, let's have a chat. And then we had this very interesting call, which led to everything where we are now. And now, if you are ever considering hypnosis, the threat to the baby that she has to go through a hypnosis session with Bernhard before she's even born led to the baby turning back inside that night. So, and now she's well, she's walking and talking, and it's a very funny baby. Bernhard, I think I'll start with something of my own beliefs. I think that hypnosis is nothing so special. It's just a tool. And what I understand is that you are helping people to overcome obstacles that are holding them back from where they want to be.
That's true.
So often people find themselves at a place and they have the idea to be at a different place. And in between, there's an obstacle and they don't know how to get around. And this is my interpretation of, well, coaching and therapy, as long as it is goal-orientated. And what do you think is the magic of that tool hypnosis?
The magic of the tool hypnosis. Well, it's pretty nice what you said, or what your description is of coaching or therapy. And sometimes if people ask me, "What's your job?" I tell them, "Oh, I'm a tour guide." Yeah, because I'm not the one who's just bringing in some outside stuff to the people. No, I show them how to activate their own resources and put these resources to the right place where it's needed to solve the issue, or to solve the problem, or to solve a conflict, or to heal a trauma, for example. You know? So I like this to be a tour guide and really guide and help the people in that. And there also lies the magic for the people, that they find these resources and really can feel in this beautiful, I'd say, state of hypnosis, on this process of hypnosis. It's often used synonymous, hypnosis and trance, to help these people really to find this and put it at the right place. And that's, for me, the magic, to feel this change in a very, often in a very, very short time. Where people think, this is actually, I can't believe this is possible. You know, like me, I tried to stop smoking for 5 years, and I do one session of hypnosis, and within 1 hour, I don't have the desire anymore to smoke a cigarette. I don't think even anymore of cigarettes. What is this? And that is actually the magic, this fascination, how fast things can be, and also how powerful this state is, how easily you get to the resources. That is, for me, the true magic, and that's why I love my job so much, because to make these people experience this, and hey, in this moment here, your subconscious has the control, for example, over your body, and give them an idea what the possibilities are and how powerful your subconscious is. You know, that is, for me, absolutely fascinating.
But isn't it the case that when you try to acquire a new ability, for example, graphic writing or a new language, or learn a new instrument, well, I can tell you, I have to put in a lot of work to get a proper sound out of my saxophone. And now you tell me, if I want to change the behavior on my inside, I can do it in an instant. How's that?
Well, the belief is often that change takes long. If we have a certain habit, it has to take long. But on the other hand, how quickly can change go in other ways? For example, if you have, let it be an accident, let it be that you whatever have an emotional problem because you got in shock or whatever, or you have a little trauma. But what happens often in the brain is there is a certain connection that is connecting A to B, simply said. So what if there is a way how to rewire this connection in a very, very short way, and this whole evaluation of a thing, of an anxiety, where it says, when A, then B, when there's a dog, then there's danger, or when I'm in the plane, whatever. And hypnosis is a way how to rewire this pretty quickly. And there, I think this belief, change has to take such a long time. It's not true. It can be very quickly. I don't say that hypnosis can fix everything in like this. Yeah, there are definitely issues that takes longer. Depends, of course, also on the client or of the person. We are all different. Yeah, but the chance to heal or reconnect the things with hypnosis, it's more likely that it's quicker with hypnosis than with any other therapy form. Yeah, so much quicker. And
so you're telling me could you hypnotize me to beautifully play the saxophone?
I could hypnotize you to learn more quickly, to learn more easily, to be more motivated to do that, to learn faster. Yeah, that's what you still need the training, because that is an ability that you really need to train. There must be a connection between your hands, between mouth and everything. So technically you need this to learn this. Yeah, okay. I'm talking here mainly about emotional issues. Yeah.
Okay.
So that we have to.
And why isn't it that I can change emotional issues quickly by myself? Why can I not? I mean, I could put my thoughts into an Excel sheet and say, well, this is the status quo, and this is where I want to go, and now Floh, change it. Why doesn't that work so easily?
Yes. Well, you have your patterns, and they are well trained. Some of them, you know, emotionally, and you have your beliefs, your subconscious beliefs. Yeah, we are mostly driven by beliefs that came into us through our parents, through experiences, through events, whatever that is, and these events and these beliefs are stored in your subconscious. And imagine that your subconscious is protected by the so-called critical faculty. This is like a sort of firewall, like a bouncer that is protecting your subconscious to change. Yeah. Best example is a smoker. A smoker reads like, I don't know, 20 times a day, smoking kills. This is a suggestion which can't enter the subconscious because it's not part of the old beliefs and the old behaviors. These are protected by this bouncer. Yeah. In hypnosis, this bouncer can step aside, and we can bring in new ideas for behavior, new ideas of thinking. We can let go of things. We can rewire things. We can do work with the source, bring healing and transformation into that. And that is why this state is so powerful. If this suggestion and this state is and change is up to your wish and will, it's easy that the seeds can really fall into fertile soil and then grow. Yeah, and that is actually the reason why hypnosis is the fastest change tool existing in my world.
Can you give me an example of where this bouncer steps aside without sitting in a hypnosis chair at your practice?
Yes, of course. Go to a doctor, and the doctor will tell you, for example, many times, this will take at least 3 weeks or something. Yeah, sometimes doctors even say, you have 3 more months to live. It's a bad suggestion in some cases, because it's just in his way he can treat the people. It's only 3 months, but a doctor is like a person of respect. When he has his white coat on, he can easily bypass this critical factor. Yeah, this bouncer steps aside because the doctor is a respect person. You know, that's why it's so important actually what the doctors say, you know, and that is an important part of a doctor giving the right suggestions in that moment, that this disease can heal more quickly. Sure, he should say the truth, but also at the same time giving the right options. So a doctor is a very nice example how you are getting in suggestions without being hypnotized. Our best and worst hypnotists are actually our parents. Imagine that a child up to 13 years, this critical factor isn't really solid. So everything that comes in this time is easily anchored in the subconscious. Yeah, until 6 years, this is not at all there. So there is a reason why children should not watch horror movies or something else, because it's going directly into the subconscious.
And that's the reason why they believe in Santa Claus and Easter bunnies.
I believe in Santa Claus, Easter bunnies, of course. Yeah. Politicians use stuff as well. Yeah, like some hypnotic language stuff. So it's not easy sometimes to protect themselves from these influences, but mainly if we want to have really something the change, we just need to be more aware of, I think, techniques, how people sometimes manipulate us. Things. Yeah.
I just had to think about one picture that came into my mind when you were first talking about the bouncer and then about the respect person being a doctor or somebody else. And I pictured, in my mind, I pictured a line of people who want to go into a club, the bouncer standing in front, and all of a sudden that respect person shows up at the door and says, well, he can come in. And the bouncer steps aside and that person is allowed to come in because that respect person said so. Yeah. So, so what you are doing in hypnosis is basically putting people or putting thoughts on the guest list.
Actually, yes, the people come already with the guest list, and okay. I'm helping them to convince the bouncer to step aside that this guest can enter. Yeah, because he knows already what he wants. He comes with everything. Yeah, it's all there. Yeah, or the guests are welcome, but we have to find a way how to let this bouncer step aside, that these ideas, these new thoughts can enter and really take place, and then the door can close and they can stay inside of there. Yeah, so that's the difference. You know, how long does it change, or does the change last, or something? No, we want to like a computer program. If you raise an old program, it's gone. If you put a new program on it, it stays. Yeah, of course, can come a virus or something.
Yeah, can you also kick people out?
Yes, that's the idea. Yes, and that's the idea, to find this beliefs and thoughts that are holding the people back, and convince these beliefs or thoughts, or maybe parts or whatever there are, that this is not up to date anymore. Yeah, because often there are things stored in the subconscious, and it's like there's often an update needed for the things that are now important for someone. Yeah, often we have these old beliefs, old programs running, but these
that were useful before we had internet.
That were useful before we had internet, but now, we are suddenly in a relationship. Suddenly I have a new job. Suddenly I need to go out of my comfort zone to experience something new. Yeah, and to grow. I feel that this program isn't working anymore because I'm in a new environment, or I feel just that the blockage becomes so big that the pressure of suffering really is that high that saying, okay, I need to change something. I need to do something there. And that is the point where people think, okay, now I need a therapist. Now I need help. Now I need help from the outside, because with yourself, it's so hard to bypass this bouncer. You often need these new ideas from the outside. Yeah, like you said in the beginning. But how do I do that? Yeah, when I know what I want, but I don't get it in. Yeah, but exactly that is the problem. The bouncer is still there, and to bypass this by yourself, just to telling it, hey, I feel happy, I feel self-confident, I'm worthy. That's not that easy.
What happens if somebody shows up for a hypnosis therapy, but they don't bring their guest list?
Then it's my job to find out what's the guest list. Yeah, I asked this question, which is actually a pretty popular question in therapy. It's the so-called wonder question. I call it in German "Wünsch dir was." Well, wish everything. Yeah, so wish everything.
Wish
so
you what?
wish you.
for all the Benjamins in the world.
yeah. Wish you would. I ask, okay, imagine your problem would be solved tomorrow. You stand up tomorrow, your problem would be solved. How would you feel like? What would be different? What's different? How would you feel like? How would other people see that you're different, and so I really find out, okay, what's actually, what does he really want, how does he feel, what are the resources, and what is the goal? And then we have this goal, and with these goals I can work. These are also his own words, but then we really found out, okay, that is the goal. And then we can see, okay, what is the emotion behind that is mainly blocking him. When people come to me, they come mainly with a problem and say, I have anxiety of this, I feel like this, I feel like this, I feel like this, or I have this symptom, this symptom. And then we can very clearly work in hypnosis with the feeling behind the symptom and like transform the source, for example, work first with suggestion, let go, and I have a big toolbox of processes that I can do with the clients, but I have, meanwhile, after all the years I worked with, I don't know how many, I think I did like 5,000 hypnosis or something, hypnosis sessions at least, that I have a toolbox where I now meanwhile, okay, I have this client, this sort, that I'm very flexible in how to activate the resources that they need, because they're often already there.
What do you think is holding people back when they have a problem that they really, or let's call it an obstacle, because it's not something unsolvable. They have that obstacle where they basically already know that they want to get past it. They know that they want to do it themselves, and they know that they want to do that better today than tomorrow, and still they are not capable of doing it themselves. Yeah. What do you think is holding them back?
Well, that's part of the anxiety or blockage or belief that they have, of course, as well. And for me, it took some time as well until I realized that I really have, well, first that I have a problem, until I became panic attacks. And then it was pretty obvious that I should do something with these panic attacks. Yeah. I felt like, okay, I got an infection in the stomach, a gastritis that was so big that I had to gag every morning when I tried to brush my teeth. So I get all the signals, and it had to, in my case, it had to become so bad that I really are like really on the ground, on the bottom, that I have to change something. And sometimes that's the way of some people. They have to get that bad that they realize, okay, now there is no more way. Now I have to change something. Yeah, and that is, I think, especially it's changing in the male generation, not generation, but in the male clients. They often try to solve that thing by themselves. Sometimes it works. Sometimes they say, I solve it with a beer, but it's changing. So I get more and more clients that are male, definitely, and male users in my app, for example. I can see it also, and female users are more likely to really also invest in their own development somehow too, I feel. But like I say, it's changing. And also when you go to like personal development workshops, so you see that there are more and more male coming up. So this is right now changing a lot, which is good news, especially the young generation who's very interested now in personal development too. I see that there's a lot of movement in this one. Older generation, especially male, it's still a bit different. There are a lot. So no, I can do that myself. Yeah, I think
that is or not at all.
Well, or not at all.
Maybe. Do you think it is a reason for people to get or to become frustrated when they don't tackle their own issues?
Like in solving it quickly, or in solving it at all?
It is an idea that came to my mind when you were talking about older male generations who are trying to solve the problems by themselves. I have this picture of an angry old white man in my head. So somebody who doesn't want to leave the house, even if he's getting kicked out, and starts complaining about everybody else but themselves. This is the image that you created in my mind when you were talking about that older male generation that wants to solve the problems only by themselves. And I'm wondering, and for me, this appears to be they appear to be very frustrated. And I'm wondering whether you have the idea as well that it could be a root of that frustration, that they are not able to solve problems where they think they should.
Yes, but they don't see that because it's not their fault, and everyone else is to blame, but not themselves. And that is the pattern.
And what will you do when you have such a person around you, and you are not their hypnotherapist, but you are, the husband, the son, or the friend? What would you do with such a person? Could you hypnotize them in doing something that they don't want to do? Or what would you suggest for somebody like me?
Yeah, I understand. Well, I have a very, very high code of ethic for me. So I'll never hypnotize anyone without consent, or I will not use any like manipulation technique or hypnotic language on purpose with people that are not consent or not open or really like asking me. I can just bring in ideas or offer things for these people. That's sometimes what I do. Or I mean, I'm a hypnotherapist, so people are like, "You're a hypnotherapist, don't look into my eyes." Yeah. Oh, and then I say, too late. Just for fun. So there is, of course, this big belief that hypnosis is something unnatural, or that they lose control, or they do things that they don't want to do. And of course, some show hypnosis shows are not really helpful for that. So my mission is to bring out the message that hypnosis is something natural, that there is a fast way, possibility to fast change, and explain a lot about that in my videos, in my app, in my session, in the preparation process for that. So if I feel someone is interested, at least, I need a bit of interest that I can bring, at least, and a suggestion, hey, look one of my videos, or read a book, whatever, or I can tell you more about that if you're interested. And then I can, like, if they're open, like slowly show them things where they realize, wow, that's the power of my subconscious. Okay, these are, of course, now skills of a hypnotherapist or a hypnotist, and no, but
and what would
for
you
me,
what would you suggest somebody like me, if I have that angry old man in my neighborhood? So I mean, close enough that you have to go into interactions with them on a regular basis. Is there any tip that you have for me to deal with a person who is obviously not attacking their own struggles?
Well, first of all, you're kind of the positive example then for him. So if you come to him with really being zen, on being relaxed, and really showing him, hey, you are cool with yourself, and you can make him proposes like what he can do to become more relaxed. And if he takes this hand, that is up to him. That's what I always say to the people when they ask me.
So you mean I cannot change somebody else?
You can change somebody else, but for that he needs to see that you're a good example in that, and you can inspire the people. That is the thing. If you don't have a consent that they want to change, normally these people don't want to change like this, because they don't see the problem, because everyone else is to blame, for example, not them. And if you go to them and you tell them, yeah, you always take the blame train or whatever, they will not like help. That will close them up more. But if you give them like possibilities or options that might help them, can be, I don't know, a relaxation audio track, an app. It can be like sit together and drink something and ask him, right? You're good in asking questions, that it's your job, and ask him the right question without he feeling like offended. Yeah, like, hey, what makes you happy? Yeah.
Are you telling me to be the change in the world that you want to see?
Kind of yes. In one hand, important when you say, hey, how can I reach someone that is like super close and angry? The only way is that you go there first with a positive attitude, the positive intention, and then give him options. Yeah. But it has to be consent in the end, because just saying, and hey, you always drive the blame train, doesn't help.
So if somebody shows up at your practice and, well, they have consent and they are willing to change something, what is something that you can see? What do you see in the people who come in, and what do you see in the people who go out?
I dream of making a photo series of before and after pictures. I would love to do that one day. That's always what I think. But of course, a lot of people want to stay anonymous. I work with musicians and also some celebrities. So of course they don't want that. Yeah. So for me, it's really nice how they are they come and are already in a trance. But I call this problem trance. So they are only fixed on their problem. They talk about their problem. They talk, it's all, they come in and they look like this the whole time. So my job is then to make them like this, to open, to see more to the left, and to the right. What's happening with people who are depressed? They only can see this. They only can see the dark. But there's so much more. There's light. There's a lot of nice stuff out there. And to help to activate these resources, to open them up. This is me. And when they have a really good experience in hypnosis, and that's what I call my hypnosis. It's a lot of experience therapy I call it, what I do, experience therapy. Because if you feel, oh, wow, here something has happened, my hand is moving by itself, my subconscious is controlling that without, I mean, I just observing it. How cool is that? What else is possible there? And if I bring them in also this goals and these suggestions, what they want, they can open their eyes, had an amazing experience, and say, hey, wow, this, I feel really lighter, I feel really better. And that is what I see. I see first the people in their problem trance, and my goal is to prepare them that well that they go into a beautiful hypnosis. I guide them with all my experience into that, and they have a really cool experience by themselves and in that state, and see, wow, here are things possible that I didn't thought were possible. Here I can feel feelings that I never expected again to feel them. Yeah, because hypnosis is a very resourceful state. Here come memories up, positive memories that I never thought of for a long time, you know, because it's possible in hypnosis. And then you have already like a first session where people had a positive experience, they go out lighter, and then you can go into the next session and work with even deeper stuff. They go even easier into hypnosis in this natural state where the bouncer steps aside, you know. And that's what I see. I see, of course, the people coming in with their focus on the things, with their beliefs, and that's what I'm doing. I'm finding this, I'm changing this, or I'm helping them to change themselves, you know.
How does a person how does a person look like who is in a possibility state?
There are, of course, different signs for hypnosis, but for me, the most beautiful sign is when the mouth starts slightly to open, and then I know, okay, now
when you are watching a good movie.
It's when you're watching a good movie. Yeah, it's a sort of it's a trance as well. You know, hypnosis is a process even to guide you into this trance. And when the mouth or the muscle, the relaxation of the face, there's eye flickering. There are a lot of signs for that. And but people are different, signs are different. So as a hypnotist, I'm a very good observer. I calibrate very well what is happening with the people.
Yeah.
With the
do you know the ABC role?
The ABC? No, I don't know.
Yeah, the ABC rule, the most important rule, basically for anybody doing communication. Always be calibrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's important. That's not for me in hypnosis. That's at the pre-talk. That's in generally. I'm very sensitive in micro memes.
And when that person. Yeah, and when that person goes out of the practice, I mean, if that person is fully awake, implemented changes, and they came from that problem state to that state of possibilities. I mean, what does such a person look like? How can you tell they are happy when they go home?
Smiling. Yeah, smiling. Not always, because some are still, of course, still processing, and yeah, of course, I let them go when they feel that they really come back to earth. But for some, it's really directly wow and lighter and smiling. Of course, some are still in the process because they had a profound experience of that. And I say, yeah, take a slow day now, that you can integrate that, no alcohol, no drugs, and so on, and take your time for that, you know. And the best you can do, drink it. Yeah, not very good for the processes in general. So yeah, it depends, of course, of the client, but in general, you can see that there is that they are much lighter and much weight falling from their shoulders. Others are still in their processes, and the change comes then during the week or during the days. Some takes some time. You never know exactly now. Okay, now this process we did work directly, or it just worked later. I had processes that took like over half a year, and after half a year was like, okay, now it's working, which I was like working half a year before, and said, okay, now it's there. Now I feel it. Now I see it. So
yeah. And so if somebody's listening, well, my most of my listeners are in the United States, mainly California, and but if I track it down to the cities, the main city is San Diego. The second one is Berlin. So if somebody, which is not in California, and I think the weather might be a bit different there at the moment. So if somebody is in Berlin, they can obviously find you online at Kiez Hypnose.
Kiez, right? Kiez Hypnose is the name of my practice. Yes.
It's in Friedrichshain, right?
It's in Friedrichshain, or just bernhardtevis.com. You'll also find it.
Okay, so just so that people know, if they are listening from Berlin, if they are interested, or if they want to send somebody your way, that's how they can find you. But if they don't, what do you? What do you have in your? What card do you have in your sleeve?
Yeah. Thanks for saying that. No, I have actually clients from all over the world who are come to see me. So it's not just from Berlin actually, but I have developed a self-hypnosis app which is called Hypnobox. Which is the most comprehensive hypnosis app in the world. We have over 600 suggestion elements, and the cool thing of this app is that you can create your own sessions with these elements. It's a modular system, and you can decide yourself how to enter hypnosis. So what's the induction? What's it called when you
what brings you there?
What brings you? What gets the bouncer stepping aside? And that is mainly relaxation. Yeah, can be also like movement or regular movement, like exercising, which is like flow state hypnosis or active alert hypnosis, also called. We got that also in the app. So if you want to combine like exercising and hypnosis, it's also possible. Yeah, you can go through movement into hypnotic state.
Yeah,
and then you can choose.
If I'm an absolute beginner, if I have no idea about this, and if I'm even skeptical, so I don't want other people to watch me while I go into that thing called hypnosis. Although I think it's not a thing, it's a process that you just go through. It's not an end goal. It's just something that you experience on the way there. But if I'm this absolute beginner and if I have no pre-experience, am I able to download that app, Hypnobox, just in the App Store, set it up myself and find something for myself?
Yes, App Store, Play Store. There's a free box where you have some preset sessions already. You have preset elements that you can put together, play with, and just try it out. Do the free sessions and take your time.
Yeah. And what if I'm a pro? And I've done everything in hypnosis so far, and basically I don't need help of that Bernhard Tevis.
No, then you still will love the app, because if you're like really into like working with suggestions or trying also finding out new stuff, you'll find it in there. Yeah, you'll find out new techniques like hypnotation, active alert hypnosis, or flow state hypnosis is not so known yet. Yeah, so really combine sport with hypnosis is like super practical. Yeah, in the future we'll add now also breath work, because also through the breath you can go into a trance and the bouncer steps aside. So there are different ways to do that. So just try it out, and you have unbelievable endless possibilities in that to combine the things. Also record your own things or import your own things, because if you go in the web apps or something, it's hard to find really hypnosis that is customizable. Always say, okay, I want really this, I want this music, or my own music or my own suggestions, whatever.
Okay, so basically, if I have any issue that I want to work on, and I know I can't do it 100% by myself, it's something where I can play around with until I customize it to my personal needs. And if I'm not an English speaker, what are the languages?
Oh, we have English, German, and Spanish, just freshly released. Spanish, that was the project of the last year to bring on, or 1.5 years actually, to create a new language is pretty much work. And yeah, now we have 3 languages. Of course,
nice.
Self-hypnosis is not therapy. So when my clients ask me, but when I have the app, do I still need therapy? Yeah, we do the big stuff we do in the therapy, and the fine-tuning, the regular daily work you do with self-hypnosis. Yeah, so you can do a lot with the app, but it's not like just solving and having anxiety or something,
Is there one setting or one track that you recommend now in Corona lockdown winter mood and the Christmas loneliness coming around the corner?
Yeah, we have in the app the so-called inner balance box, which is for me one of my favorite boxes, because you have suggestions like unshakable calm, which is for me one of my favorite suggestions, unshakable calm. And also in German, we have a free, for the German version, we have a free sessions for like being positive in the crisis, or coming through the crisis. But that's at the moment only in German.
Sorry. I'm sorry for the non-German speakers among us. Well, I think that is a very good thought to keep in mind for leaving this episode. Unshakable calm. And well, thank you so much. It is always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm thrilled to have you every Monday morning at 7, freshly recovering from the weekend. I hope for so much more, and I will put the links in the description and in the YouTube description as well, so that people can find that easily. And I will also include a link if they want to contact you directly, but you can just, look down below or go into the description. Otherwise, Hypnobox in the App Store. I think if you enter that, it's a sure hit.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great pleasure.
Bernhard, thank you very much. Take care.
You too, Florian. Everyone else. Bye.